Hello out there, subscribers and friends. This is Surviving 2 coming at you with another video. Alright, I got everything cleaned up. Got me something I can put my little candle on. Somebody made a comment, friend of mine, Graham, about my fire extinguisher over here. Yeah, I've had to use it once already, and I keep it handy for all these little experiments and everything. Get this rearranged here a little bit. Maybe I can zoom you in a little bit. And what we'll do is a burn test and see what happens. Let's look at the clock. Alright. And I need to kill about 10 or 15 seconds here. So hopefully if this goes okay, I'll be making some more of these. I know I got to make some more Maya dust. About used all of it up out of that little 35mm canister. Okay, 10. About 10 seconds and it'll be 19 minutes till. Alright, there we go. So it's 19 minutes till the hour. And we'll get this thing going here, and let's this thing should burn forever, if it'll even take off burning. Huh, that's funny. And there's no wind, so it's not doing so swift. There's still a little bitty flame on it, really small flame. This is definitely not doing what I thought it would do. It's still going, but just barely. I thought the wick would help it. R.J. Berg made a suggestion that I take wax impregnated cotton and put it inside, put it down in here and use that to light it with. That way I could pull the fibers out of it. It's not a bad idea. It might end up having to be the route I'll have to go. You definitely wouldn't have this out in a windstorm. Because that son of a gun is just barely going. I've got a fan blowing in here into this shed, but it's like blowing at my feet. Luckily it's not blowing up here where the candle is, so it's not going to affect it. This might be a good idea, but it's not starting out so swift. Maybe later on. I see the wax melting now, and it might take some different type of wax for this to do better. That other wax I was using for my round fire starters, they would probably be a lot better than this particular wax. I don't know what the difference in the two waxes are, but the other one off of the candles that I cut up and put in here seemed to be a lot better. That wax burns up more than this. This doesn't seem to burn up that much. Yeah, I can see one of the pieces of Maya dust that I've got in there, and it's got it lit, but it's a really small fire. So I mean, this might work okay for a small candle of just lighting a small area, or maybe getting your hands warm. I don't know. It's not hardly even putting off any heat. As you can see, I can hold my hand over it, no problem. See if I can zoom in on it a little more. I was expecting a lot bigger flame, but that's not a lot. There, now you can see it a little better. It's melting a lot of the wax around it, but other than that, it's a real small flame. It's smaller than a regular tea light. I mean, the flame is. So I don't know what good this would be, really. This might be a failed experiment, even though it looked good and I thought it would work out. I don't think it is working out. What little cotton I had in there that I had stuffed down in and tried to ignite the first time, it's lighting that. That's getting lit down there now too a little bit. So it might turn out to be okay after it gets a little warmer, but it's melting all the wax around it, I can see. That's unusual. As a matter of fact, it's getting so hot, melting the wax, I can see bubbles coming out. So I'm guessing what it's doing is what wax it's melting, it's allowing it to go in further where there were air bubbles in there. It's now taking up that void. And the flame is getting lower. So I'm guessing this one's a failure as far as what I was hoping it would do. So, oh well, better luck next time. Well, I started messing with the cotton that I had put into there, and as you can see, I've got a lot bigger flame. I just kind of took and picked the cotton up with a little rod or something and made it to where it stood up a little more, and the flame kept getting bigger. So that might be a good little experiment, is to take like a let's see, let me get it back to where you guys can see what's going on. Might take cotton and sit there and wind it up and make like a bigger wick out of it and punch it down into the center of it, and that might work out to be pretty good. But the wax is definitely melting in it. It's melted quite a ways around it right now, and it's putting off some pretty good heat. What I was doing is just taking this little metal bar right here, or wire, and I'm just picking the cotton up. And see what it's doing. It's getting a little bit bigger flame. So, interesting. Don't know, might have to redo it, rethink it, like I say, put a strand of cotton down into there, down into the center of it, and as it melts the wax, maybe it's wicking the wax up into the cotton and pulling it to the top and burning it. But it doesn't seem to be burning the fat wood, really. Not that I can see. The fat wood just turned out to be a filler, is all it turned out to be. Now maybe it's heating it up so much too. I just thought of this. It might be heating it up so much, the fat wood, that the resins are coming out of it, leaching out of the wood and into the wax, and maybe this is picking up the resin out of the fat wood too and burning it instead of burning it in the wood. So interesting thought, interesting ideas. I'll have to give this some thought and think about it. Well, here's a side note. I've kept this thing burning for quite a while just to see what it would do. It's either burned off or boiled off a lot of the wax, and now it's starting to get down into the Maya wood. Okay, let's see if I can zoom in on that. Yeah, you can see where it's now getting down into the Maya wood. It takes it a while to get going, but seems like it's doing pretty good. I mean, you gotta wait for it to get going, but then it seems to catch hold and do really nice. It's got wax coming out around the base of it. I figured that would happen because of the hole that I had in the bottom of it, putting a wick up through it, and I'm losing some wax out here around the bottom of it. So if you do one of these, keep that in mind. Other than that, that Maya wood seems to be burning now pretty well, and I've got to move this before that wax comes off. And by the way, I think I started at about 19 till, and right now it's about 2 minutes after. So, and it's got a lot longer to burn. So that's what, 19 minutes so far on this thing. But I wouldn't call it a good flame until right about now. Alright, I gotta shut it off. That wax is starting to come off the, whoop, there it went. And I was trying to keep that from happening so it doesn't mess up my table here. So anyway, y'all take care. Later. I want to thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more in the future that I put out, just subscribe. Until then, later.